What is up, guys? Welcome back to the ASAP Automotive channel. Today we got had by a cam bearing. Pulled the cam out the other day. As soon as we pulling it out, felt it catch. Knew right away. Center bearing been sitting and gotten a little loose. It was all kind of nice. Mark fell right out as soon as we pulled it out. So it was quickly decided that we're doing cam bearings in it, and after looking at them a little bit closer as we've been pulling them out, you can see where they've been getting kind of worn. Looks like maybe that one spun and started starving the cam. It wouldn't have been much longer. All the bottom end, everything feels good and tight, so I think we're okay. Don't see any discoloration or anything like that, but you can see here where it wore the coating off, and you know the coating's all nice right where the oil comes in, but everything else is starving around here. So we're going to be putting cam bearings in it today before we put the new camshaft in. So it's always fun stuff you find in these projects, but you know what? Feel a lot more comfortable now with the motors. We get it all back together. It'd be a lot safer this way. You don't have to worry about it. I know a ton of people don't look at the cam bearings, but it's kind of hard not to look when it's coming out with the camshaft. So it is what it is, but we're going to go ahead and we've got our tool here for going and knocking these things out. So you guys will notice, I've done plenty of cam bearings before, but with these LS motors, this is late 03 and up, so it's got a different style. So you gotta be real careful when you order cam bearings, make sure you're getting the right set for your application. But these, typically the center one just is its own number and it just slides right in. The front two or the outer two are one, and the center two are different diameters. So you gotta make sure you put them in. And normally if you get like a good bearing set, they'll normally come like in order and you'll see the different part numbers on them. But the outer two, so these front two come in this way, the back two come in this way, the center one, it swings both ways, it doesn't care. So it's one of those kind of bearings. And you just knock them out in the opposite way. We've got this handy dandy tool sitting in here, ready to knock them out. We've already got one out. And yes, this really sucks doing it with a rotating assembly in, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit more time. We really don't want to have to tear down the rotating assembly. It just opens up another can of worms that we don't really want to mess with. You know, if we end up having to, we have to, but we're going to avoid it at all costs. So let's go. All right, we're set up, got it snugged up. Nice, ready, and beat it like it owes you money. Not really, seriously, don't hit it that hard. It's nice and easy. Keep tension on it. Keep the tool nice and centered. I feel it start to move. Nice deliberate smack. And boom goes the dynamite. All right, now we get to fish it out. Alright guys, so we got the last of the cam bearings in, got all 5. Remember, like we said, the center one is its own bearing. It can go either way. And the number 2 and number 4 are the same. And 1 and 5 are the same. So these come in a nice little package. They sort everything out. Everything, you know, we mic'd them out, and they're all in order, so it makes it nice. So just one of those things, take your time, you know, don't get in a rush, because you're gonna end up screwing up stuff, and then you gotta get another set of bearings. And of course, these are the later versions, so they're more expensive. They're not the cheaper $20-something bearings. They're more like 80 bucks, but it is what it is. So we're getting the last ones in. We're getting everything cleaned up now. We're about to, actually going to throw the old camshaft back in and lube it up first and just make sure everything's good. So just in case, so we don't end up scarring that new comp cam. So let's get to it. All right, guys, now the fun part, the sexy part. We're putting the bump stick in. This comp cam's from their line of cams for the LS series is good. You know, we spec'd it out for a lot of good low range torque, mid range power, and it makes a little bit more on the top end too. But being this thing's going in a Jeep, we definitely wanted a lot more low end grunt, especially for towing. So now we're gonna get ready. Unfortunately, it's supposed to come with lube in the package, but hey, at least we got the right camshaft, so hey, we're halfway there. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of 30 weight on here to go ahead and lube this thing up. I thought I had some assembly lube, but I guess in moving around and moving the shop and all that, I don't have any more right now. So we're gonna make do with some good clean 30 weight and just kind of a little bit here. It's gonna get a little messy, but that's okay. I don't care. And that's what rags are for. So get in here, make sure my gloves are all nice and clean. Just all nice and lubed up. Make sure you get all the lobes, all the good there, the mains, all that fun stuff. Okay. All right, guys, you can never have too much lube. Makes everything better. Come on, there's no way I was going to get without a lube joke. I mean, come on. Sitting here, putting lube on a camshaft. It was bound to happen. Alrighty, let's go ahead and slide it in. Alright. It's nice and easy, like anything else with a valve train. Take your time. Don't get in a rush. Two down. Oh man, slides nice. We kind of cheated, by the way, just to make sure we were good on the cam bearings and everything. We actually took the old camshaft, stuck it in a little bit ago while we're waiting for the camera to charge back up, and verified that we were good. Make sure we didn't have any burrs or anything. Make sure we're all good and clean. There. So with these LS motors, one little trick, you know, if you don't have any kind of long rod to slide in there to help support it, you can actually use water pump bolts if you need to. They're long enough, they thread right in, it helps. But in this case, I'm going to use some 3/8 extensions. And there we go, in there like swimwear. So now, next thing to do is put on our thrust plate with a gasket, and then we'll start putting our timing assembly on. Let's do it. All right, now we got that big old beautiful freaking camshaft in there. Now, we'll get our surfaces cleaned up here for our thrust plate. You see it's a metal plate. It's got a nice little rubber insert for across here with the two oil galleys. And put on there just like that. Got our bolts all nice and cleaned up. We're going to put a little Loctite on there. And then we'll torque these down to 18 foot-pounds. And move on to the next step. Alright, so we got all our old stuff off. Went ahead and used a 2-jaw puller. You can use 3-jaw, whatever. This thing comes off pretty easy. It's just from being on there after 150,000 miles. This is the actually old sprocket assembly for the timing chain. This is a little trick you can do. So this is actually 2 pieces. This is the LS7 style double roller chain that we're putting on here. This piece here is its own. We went ahead and lined them up. We got them lined dot to dot, so we're on top dead center, all that fun. And this piece is separate here. So what we did was we went ahead and slid these both on. There's a keyway right here, little key stock. Slid that on. You can use this here and just kind of run down the crank bolt here and just easily walk it on down until it bottoms out, and then you're good and lined up. Take it back out and you're ready to go. So what we did is we just set the cam gear on here right now to get everything lined up. You notice here we got a notch here and a little dot right there. So we're good to go. We're going to pull the cam gear back off. Go ahead and wrap our chain. Oh, that's a nice heavy duty chain. It's a party. Alrighty. So still got everything nice and lined up. Got our new chain on there. Everything's looking good. Now we're going to go ahead and put our bolts back in and put a little bit of blue Loctite on those also. And these get torqued down to 26 foot-pounds. The actual thrust plate gets torqued down to 18 foot-pounds. There's no crazy procedure, nothing like that. They're not torqued to yield, just simple torque down bolts. Just make sure you clean them up really good and we don't have any oil on them or nothing like that. So, interesting fun fact, there are some bolts that require a little bit of oil on the threads. A lot of times, like harmonic balancer or crank balancer bolts, they you know, some special torque procedure or whatever. So yeah, all right, torque these down and move on to the next step. So this is the heart of your engine. Now, with the fact that we went with a double roller chain, it's a lot thicker chain, you're spaced out a little bit, so if you go back with the oil pump, it's not gonna rest all the way. So the timing kit actually comes with these cool little spacers, which go right in here and space you out so you can, so it'll sit nice. And there you go. We'll just torque them down to 18 foot-pounds and you're good to go. Also, before you put your pickup tube and all on, it's good to run a little bit of oil down in here, kind of let it prime up that oil pump a little bit so you're not starting out first time so bone dry. It's also a good idea to pour a little bit of oil all around the timing chain. We'll do that once we get the motor set back up right. All right, guys, so got our timing chain on, oil pump, went ahead and put the covers on and all that. There's not really much to that. One quick